Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now November 2nd of 2021. Now I'm sure a lot of you already saw the Book of Boba Fett teaser trailer or the official trailer to the new TV show by Disney. I gotta say one thing here is that it looks very impressive and it looks all the more better than the Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2 because of how it's diving more into the underworld. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter if you guys want to go ahead and check me out at Mike01. We do post a couple of fun and entertaining things on there from time to time and interact with you guys further. So we're now in a very interesting part of Star Wars. Now that we're getting closer to the release of that actual series on December 29th, we're also getting very close to Disney Plus Day, which is where we're going to learn a lot more about the Book of Boba series, as well as other aspects of the roadmap of the Star Wars universe. We also know that Chapek is really going through a lot of things right now to set things up for the Star Wars franchise in an attempt to really turn things around for the entire fandom at large. Now, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they really are working around the clock. They're working on over a dozen projects, and many of which are unannounced that will be unveiled at Star Wars Celebration, so keep your eyes open for May of 2022. That is the exact month in which we're going to learn a lot about the future of the Star Wars universe and exactly how it's going to be handled, exactly what Star Wars TV shows are going to release before or after other Star Wars TV shows, in which order. I think it's going to be a very interesting placement by Disney and Lucasfilm to see how they're going to handle Star Wars with respect now, and how they're actually going to listen to the fans like never before. Now, given that the Book of Boba Fett series, alright, the teaser trailer or the trailer really got a lot of people talking because of how well it looks produced, how well it looks in comparison to The Mandalorian. I gotta say, I mean, it already looks very promising, and we'll be going over that a little bit later. So, with that being said, of course, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars TV shows, both Disney and Lucasfilm are beginning to focus on their new shows for the future of the Star Wars franchise and beyond. Now, it's described, however, that recently creators like Favreau and Filoni have been making drastic adjustments to the brand over the past number of weeks to regulate everything with the lore and more. It's described that Disney CEO Bob Chapek, however, is actually set to make a major announcement in the coming weeks that is going to take fans by surprise and really shock the audience, and that Bob Chapek is set to announce a brand new Star Wars TV series that is set to focus on a brand new era that will be partially created by George Lucas and other creators coming on board. Now, Chapek is set to announce two new Star Wars shows that will involve Star Wars Underworld that will focus on the aftermath of Order 66. However, unlike with The Bad Batch, this series is set to focus on multiple Force users, and even Darth Maul will be in the form of live action. This live-action series is set to have a strong connection to the animated Darth Maul series that is currently in active development as well, that is planned to be roughly 8 episodes for the show. Now, another series that Chapek is set to announce by this December is yet another live-action Star Wars series that will also involve George Lucas as a co-writer for the franchise. The series is set to focus on a handful of stories that will focus on the adventures of Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn during their time in the Unknown Regions that will fill in the gaps for the Ahsoka Tano series, and is set to work hand in hand with that show. These two major show announcements are set to be announced by Chapek this December, during a series of reveals by Disney before they actually make the majority of their TV shows reveals at Celebration in May of 2022. Now, the return of Maul in Underworld, mind you, is set to be portrayed by Sam Witwer instead of Ray Park as of right now. Chapek is going to make these announcements very special by also having George Lucas on a live broadcast with himself around the entire world to talk more about these new Star Wars shows, especially Star Wars Underworld, given that this was George Lucas's original creation, which is going to be connected strongly to the Book of Boba Fett, even though it takes place many years before that show, and characters that appear in that show will hold strong connections. Bob Chapek is set to only hire experienced writers and directors for these new shows, and that Disney is planning to at least release 4 to 5 TV shows a year, eventually on the Disney Plus platform. I don't know if you guys think that's a lot or too much. Let me know what you think about that. However, moving on from all of this, Disney actually is planning to create a constant stream of content when it comes to Star Wars. much like with what Marvel does with their movies, and Star Wars, of course, now wants to do the same exact thing, where they will be doing just that with TV shows. Movies, of course, however, will also be a new focus in the near future, and that they are going to be filling in the gaps of years for Star Wars films and their releases, instead of just the solo movies, which are already planned. More are set to release in the near future. So, here's the thing about all of these new TV show announcements. Now, the Book of Boba Fett is just the beginning, alright? This is just the beginning, the very start of how John and Dave and Robert Rodriguez are handling the future of the franchise, right? Now, Rodriguez, believe it or not, is said to be involved with other TV shows out there, because there's a lot of talk now that they want to actually create multiple seasons for the Book of Boba Fett. They want to create it into a multi-season show once The Mandalorian comes to an official end with Season 4 in 2023. So, if that makes sense to you guys. Basically, once Mandalorian ends, the Book of Boba will eventually take over. Now, I think it's a very interesting move, because if you think about it, Kathleen Kennedy originally changed aspects of The Mandalorian. Eventually, of course, that was all switched over. Originally, Jon Favreau wanted The Mandalorian to be basically a show about Boba Fett, and it switched over to Din Djarin. So now they got their opportunity. But focusing on these new shows, alright, involving Ezra, Thrawn, Darth Maul, the Underworld, and how a lot of this is going to involve George Lucas as a co-writer, including that animated TV show that's going to focus on Crimson Dawn, the rise of that crime syndicate that takes place well before Solo: A Star Wars Story, mind you. So that's also going to be embedded within the aftermath of Order 66. Now, Darth Maul is a beloved character. A lot of people love Sam Witwer and how he voices the character. He did a great job in everything related to Solo: A Star Wars Story. I cannot wait to see more of him live action and in animated form. However, we all know what happened with the whole Ray Park situation. I'm not going to dive into that in this video, but you guys can go ahead and look it up. The whole Ray Park situation, I think it does explain as to why he's not involved, at least for now, with these new Star Wars show installments. So, it seems like Sam Witwer has got the role for Darth Maul, which is also fine. You know, that's all fine and okay by me, because he does a great job with both the voice, and he can really pull off looking like Darth Maul very, very well. Now, the other thing about Bob Chapek, alright, is the fact that he really is going all out by eventually planning to release 4 to 5 TV shows a year for Star Wars on Disney+. Do you guys believe that that is way too much? Is that overboard? Is that way too many Star Wars shows a year? Honestly, I think that if you look at it as the grand scheme of things by Disney, I think it's fine. As long as some of these shows are, you know, very much rich in quality on a consistent basis, I think it's going to be fine. You got to also keep in mind that some of these shows aren't going to be as long as others, some of which might be 6 episodes, some of which may be 8 or 9. Other shows are going to go by quicker, while other shows will last longer. So that's their way of kind of regulating the fact that there will be so many TV shows a year. I can understand that as well. You know, the Kenobi series is actually said to be far shorter, sadly, than the Book of Boba Fett show. It's not going to be no 9 episodes. So that's going to be one other thing to take into account here. So anyways, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.